Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be shedding light on why most people do not embrace low-risk entrepreneurship. So why do most people desist, abstain, and refrain from embracing low-risk entrepreneurship? Well, most people are recalcitrant about doing so primarily because they are uneducated about low-risk entrepreneurship. They do not entertain the notion of embracing low-risk entrepreneurial pursuits because they want an immediate payout and cannot afford to defer earning revenue. As an entrepreneur, if you embrace low-risk entrepreneurship, revenue is primarily earned on the back end. It can allow you to even earn revenue in perpetuity because monetizable intellectual properties have the latent potential to generate revenue in perpetuity, even past the lifespan of their creators. People would rather receive an infinitesimal, egregiously low hourly wage imposed by an employer than grow recurring revenue streams and embrace low-risk entrepreneurial pursuits. Low-risk entrepreneurial pursuits, for instance, can involve producing videos, archivable live stream broadcasts, songs, podcast episodes, audiobooks, ebooks, custom-made print-on-demand merchandise, online courses, software applications, mobile games, customizable templates, and of course, photos. Most people are deterred to produce monetizable intellectual properties. They are reticent about cultivating behemoth brands and profusely creating income-generating assets because it is a highly time-consuming endeavor. It is a highly time-consuming undertaking, and most people are unwilling to strategically work hard for at least 14 to 18 hours per day, every day, for a bare minimum of 3 to 15 years to have a modicum of a chance of being profoundly successful if they were to embrace low-risk entrepreneurial pursuits. They're looking for the quick fix. They're unwilling to take the long-term pathway to success. When you are making an earnest attempt to attain profound success by embracing low-risk entrepreneurial pursuits relative to other entrepreneurs, you are taking the circuitous path to success. When you embrace low-risk entrepreneurial pursuits, you do not have a marketing budget, and you do not have employees, nor do you have access to the services of freelancers. However, unbeknownst to most people, it's often overlooked that if you are profoundly successful by embracing low-risk entrepreneurial pursuits, you could even draw forth, you can even elicit, you could even manifest a multi-billion-dollar media franchise into reality. The Harry Potter franchise, the Star Wars franchise, the Dragon Ball franchise, the Naruto franchise, the Lord of the Rings franchise. These are multi-billion-dollar franchises that will likely generate revenue in decades to come, past the lifespans of their creators. A novel that you write, it could be the next intellectual property for the basis of a multi-billion-dollar franchise. You just do not know. So, most people are also unknowledgeable about how to cultivate brand growth, how to attain substantial brand recognition, how to attain strong brand loyalty, and how to attain robust brand equity without having a marketing budget. They're unwilling to grow a prodigious content reservoir over the course of 3 to 15 years. They're unwilling to grow a prodigious product catalog over the course of 3 to 15 years. They also do not know how to produce engagement-worthy, viral-worthy, share-worthy, like-worthy, algorithm recommendation-worthy content for their social media platforms that is apt to yield high engagement rates, high watch times, high audience retention rates, and high viewership rates. They also typically do not know how to produce content that is apt to build traction and transcend into becoming viral content. They also do not know how to produce products that are apt to build traction and transcend into becoming viral products. They also do not know how to produce aesthetically appealing thumbnails and utilize optimal germane keywords as a metadata for their content. There's so much that goes into being profoundly successful as an entrepreneur that people are unknowledgeable about and that they are unwilling to learn, which is quite unfortunate and lamentable, because if they were to learn it and execute this knowledge, then it can redound to their benefit, especially if they were able to attain extreme fame, leverage, and subsequently attain extreme wealth post implementing this pragmatic knowledge to become profoundly successful as an entrepreneur. Another reason people do not embrace low-risk entrepreneurship is because they underestimate their creative potential, which is detrimental to themselves. They are truly stymieing and stifling themselves when they do not exercise their creativity. They do not believe that they have the ingenuity, the creativity, the intellect to offer unprecedented value to their target market in the form of their content and product offerings. They underestimate their ability to produce videos, archivable live stream broadcasts, songs, podcast episodes, audiobooks, custom-made print-on-demand merchandise, online courses, software applications, mobile games, customizable templates, and photos. It is much easier to be pursuant of a role that has a regimented protocol that you follow each and every day that is monotonous, that you can do an autopilot, than it is to tap into your creativity and leverage your creativity to truly produce something novel, extraordinary, like-worthy, share-worthy, recommendation-worthy, algorithm recommendation-worthy, and extraordinary with the world. You want your content to be indelible. You want your content to be mesmerizing. You want your content to be enthralling and captivating and engrossing. So people are typically innately lackadaisical. They typically underestimate their creativity, and they are typically unknowledgeable about low-risk entrepreneurial. They are typically unknowledgeable about low-risk entrepreneurial endeavors. If they were enlightened, if they were knowledgeable about low-risk entrepreneurial endeavors, they would still be disinclined to pursue them, because they just do not want to exude the strategic hard work necessary to become profoundly successful as an entrepreneur. And they'd rather have an immediate payout on the front end than defer earning revenue, even if it came at the cost of them not having any revenue on the back end. If you work a job, you're paid an hourly wage. It is fleeting, it is ephemeral, and it caps your income. Whereas if you grow behemoth brands and create income-generating assets, you have the latent potential to earn revenue in perpetuity on the back end. Yes, there may not be a guaranteed payoff on the back end, but if you are profoundly successful as an entrepreneur, the payoff on the back end can easily exceed any earnings that you would have earned on the front end. Ryan, for instance, at the tender age of he's earning around $29,500,000, and he embraced entrepreneurial pursuits at the age of 4. Just goes to show you what could transpire after half of a decade elapses. His revenue is not tethered to his time, is not fettered by his finite time. His content can reach out to billions of people from around the world simultaneously, and he has a multitude of revenue streams. As a content creator, you can earn advertising revenue, subscription revenue, sponsorship revenue, affiliate marketing revenue, product placement revenue. If you produce products, you're not solely limited to just earning sales revenue. But also revenue. There are also other revenue streams that you could draw forth. If people want to support your creative endeavors, they want you to produce future products, they could also provide you with recurring donations on Patreon by pledging to your Patreon account. So your patrons on Patreon can provide you with recurring donations on a monthly basis to support your creative endeavors, especially if they want to see you manifest more products into reality, such as songs. I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and insightful. One final remark is that Kylie Jenner is able to earn $1 million per product placement just by selling a product placement on an Instagram photo, because she has attained extreme fame leverage and is therefore able to generate extreme wealth. That's what happens when you have a behemoth of a brand. When you become the media, companies are willing to pay exorbitant product placement fees if it means that you can reach out to their target market instantaneously. When she uploads a photo onto her Instagram account, it more than likely populates in the feeds of over 150 million followers. So, behemoth brands can be powerful marketing vehicles for vectoring your target market to your product pages, and they could also allow you to have access to advertisement real estate. And you could charge a premium price to companies to host advertisements on your social media channels or to feature their product placements on the content for your social media channels. So I hope that you found this video to be insightful and enthralling, that people were innately driven to be industrious, be entrepreneurial, and were more eager to tap into their creativity than perhaps the notion of embracing low-risk entrepreneurial pursuits would be appealing to more people. But people are often lackadaisical, unmotivated, uninspired, and they have all these pernicious thoughts of self-doubt that cause them to undermine their ability to reach their latent potential and maximize their success. Furthermore, people just in general do not want to strategically work hard for 14 to 18 hours per day, sacrifice 3 to 15 years of their life just for the prospect of potentially being profoundly successful as an entrepreneur, especially when success is not guaranteed. On the other hand, the other outcome, which is to work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand for employers, often unfortunately yields an adverse long-term outcome because you're borrowing equity out of your time, life, happiness, health, dignity, and future wealth just for a pittance of a non-subsistence wage when you work real practical jobs based on voluntary demand, which not only induce chronic stress, chronic burnout, chronic fatigue, chronic inflammation, and adversely impinge on every facet of your life, but are also often deemed to be dead-end, highly time-consuming, dispiriting, minimum wage, ineffably agonizing, brutally wretched jobs. Those jobs provide you with no basis for having a future, at least if you are profoundly successful as an entrepreneur. After 3 to 15 years elapsed, maybe you would have enough recurring revenue from your recurring revenue streams as an aggregate to be able to sustain yourself for the remainder of your lifetime. You want to take the anodyne measures needed to manifest a prosperous, abundant, auspicious future into reality. You never want to stagnate nor regress. You always want to be able to move your life in a forward movement trajectory. You want to be able to reach your higher aspirations and attain your overarching goals. So, while it may seem like a Brobdingnagian, overwhelming challenge to become profoundly successful as an entrepreneur who embraces low-risk entrepreneurial pursuits, it can be even more of a challenge to grovel at the feet of employers for a lifetime with no way to retire, since the interests of the employee and employers are diametrically opposed to one another. Employers lamentably view their employees as exploitable capital livestock to be harvested for profiteering purposes. They view them as expendable. Employers want to be able to maximize the wealth of their shareholders and maximize their profits, which is not conducive to maximizing the well-being of their employees. They want to be able to pay their employees the absolute minimum amount of revenue for the absolute maximum amount of time worked, whereas employees want to be able to receive the absolute maximum amount of revenue for the minimum amount of time worked. And in an employer market, employees are at the mercy of employers. Employers have all the leverage, they hold all the cards, they are the gatekeepers to employee job opportunities. So do not position yourself to be in this precarious predicament of being reliant on one stream of income from an employer at a non-subsistence wage just to be able to eat. Cultivate behemoth brands. In addition to cultivating behemoth brands, you should also profusely create income-generating assets and hone in on building up your recurring revenue streams so that your recurring revenue streams as an aggregate can generate enough revenue to offset your recurring expenses for the prospect of you being able to have a prosperous future in which you're able to pull yourself out of the muck and mire, get out of chronic poverty, and no longer be indigent, destitute, and chronically impoverished. You do not want to be insurmountably indebted. You do not want your income to be capped. You do not want to reach a glass ceiling in terms of your income potential. And you do not want your income to be tethered to your time. So allow your monetizable intellectual properties to work for you rather than you perpetually groveling at an employer's feet by working long hours at a highly time-consuming minimum wage, dead-end, dispiriting, agonizing, undesirable, unfulfilling, ineffably dreadful job. Once again, I hope you found this video to be enthralling and insightful. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.